You're tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
They won't let me out. They won't let me out. They won't let me out. Oh, they won't let me out.
This song is just, this is sad. This is a sad moment.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You are tuned into Power After Show Special Edition Spotlight Interview. I am your host, Bamm Ericsen, and I would like to introduce my panel.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Kennelia.
Hi, everyone. I'm Janeisha. And I am your girl, Ayers. So some of you may know by now, we are doing a very special recap with someone very special here today. And I would like to introduce none other than Mr. Joseph Sikora. What's going on from Power? Yay! He plays Tommy, one of our favorite characters on the show. So welcome. Thanks for coming today.
Great to be here, you guys. You guys do such a great job recapping this show, and it was my pleasure and my honor to be here.
Aww.
Thank you so much. It is really a pleasure having you here.
Yeah.
And so we have so much to talk about, so let's dive in. Okay, so Tommy's in jail.
Yeah.
And so my question to you guys is, who should he call first? Tasha, Ghost, Kanan, his mama, Holly if she picks up the phone?
Ghost. I say Ghost.
Okay, so you say Ghost. Why?
Because he's the only one who probably can bail him out, if anything. So that's my opinion.
Okay, Robin?
Probably. I would say, I would think his natural inclination is to call Ghost, because right now I don't know if Tommy is really thinking like anything outside of what we're thinking as fans. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the likelihood would be him to call Ghost.
I say he would not call Ghost because Ghost was supposed to be there too. Ghost did not get arrested, and he comes out and sees Angela.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't call Ghost if I were Tommy.
Wait, so are you thinking that he automatically is assuming something is up?
Well, just to be safe. I wouldn't call him. Because if they were supposed to meet up at the same time, and then your girlfriend is out there waiting for me.
You're right.
She was like, hey guys, hey Tommy.
My vote is to call Tasha.
Really?
Well, I mean, we all know she can stash some money. She can bail him out. She can bail him out, and I feel like Tommy's character can only really trust Tasha. He thinks he can trust Kanan, but it's really only Tasha. So I say call Tasha. Who do you think Tommy should call because he's in jail, and who do you think?
Well, a couple of things. I mean, I think that in terms of Kanan, I think that we saw the at least the beginnings of him being like, Kanan's asking a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And maybe I should just hold back for a second. Things are not necessarily going the way that I thought that they would structurally go. Where's the variable? I think that people underestimate Tommy a lot because he is so loyal to his friends that he gives every possible opportunity for somebody to come back. I mean, he checked Ghost all last episode.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah.
And I think that part of that is him just having like, that's enough. I also, in terms of how the episode was set up, I think that if he called Ghost, I think that would put Tommy in a place of like, oh, Ghost set me up. And I don't think that Tommy goes there. I mean, we've kind of known him as his history is like, that's the last thing. Like, Ghost, nobody but Ghost. I mean, he even said like way earlier in the season, if I can't trust Ghost, then I don't know what. And he hasn't gotten to that breaking point yet. So I don't think he would call Ghost. So I'm with Bamm on the Tasha call.
Agree. And then
because she stashed money.
Because she stashes money, and he's always said Tasha always took care of this part. I think she's very sectionalized. I mean, I think Tasha has, and this is all love to Naturi, but like I think that they have intentionally compartmentalized Tasha on what she's allowed to take care of in the business, because I think that I want us to be gang. I'm gonna take care of this. I'll take care of that. And it's just like, slow down, baby. Take care of this and take care of that.
Okay, all right, that's fair. Yeah.
So then my question is, do you guys think that Ghost actually set him up, or do you think that this was Ghost's plan all along?
I think I wouldn't put it past him if he set him up. And the only reason I say that is because this episode, they simultaneously showed us that Kanan feels a certain way that Ghost, and he thinks Tommy set him up as well. So at the same time, you have that situation playing out like, yo, they set me up. And then you have Ghost basically looking out of the window at the whole scenario happening like he knew this was what was supposed to happen, like Tommy was the scapegoat. Not necessarily like he wanted Tommy to go to jail, but he did hire that lawyer dude earlier in the show.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, maybe he planned for Tommy to be the one to have to carry the cross and take the fall.
Okay, so you hit the nail on the head, I think, because I wouldn't necessarily even say he set him up, but I would say that he masterminded this entire thing. I think that it was like beautifully done. The fact that he went to the attorney early on, you know, hired him or whatever. I mean, it was set up. That just told me, this last episode just said, Ghost is ahead of the game. Like, he's much smarter than what we're giving him credit for.
I have to agree. I think that he keeps saying, I have this plan, and he's not letting everyone in on exactly what it is he's got going on. And of course, he's a mastermind in terms of getting all of this stuff together and keeping certain things to himself and pulling out those chess moves. So I think that it's all part of his plan, and I think Ghost knows what he's doing. He's going to handle it. That's what I think.
Joseph, as a fan of the show, as Joseph, not you playing the character Tommy, what do you think? Do you think that I
think Ghost is smart. I think you guys are like on it. I think that Tommy is getting looser and further away, which I think he proved when he cornered Ghost at the big stash house. And he's like, we're going to take care of this one way or another, blah, blah, blah. And you're going to do what I say. That means Tommy's pretty far away. So how do you keep somebody that's far away close? Put them somewhere that they can't get out of. You put them in a box. So I'm not even saying that Ghost necessarily did it at all. Believe me, that's the furthest thing than what I'm saying. There's more to this story. But I think that Ghost is very smart, and he does think that ahead. And I think that he's probably aware that Kanan thinks he's 3 steps ahead. Like he said, we're 3 steps ahead of Ghost. That's what we should be. That I think that Ghost knows that he's like, all right, he thinks he's here, so let me be here.
Yeah, I like what you're saying. All right.
Do you think this is the end of the drug business?
No, I don't. It's just
No.
Yeah.
Well, I have to ask this question because there's obviously a split. Ghost wants out. Tommy and Tasha, they're not leaving this.
Yeah, but I think there's so many elements of this. I mean, including all the other people who are a part of this. You know what I'm saying? There's no way that the drug business, whether it be now. I will say this: could it be that Ghost and Tommy are done? That's your question. More specifically, I don't know about that part. I would hate to say yes. I just don't think so. That's just my guess.
Yeah, because I love their relationship. I would hate to see that kind of just,
Yeah,
no, I wouldn't want it to end.
If this was the season finale, I would say potentially yes, because then it leaves a whole trail for how to go into season 3. But being that we got freaking 2 episodes left,
Oh my god,
I don't know.
Oh man,
I don't think it'll be a split at all because you still have other people trying to target both of them. So yes, they have their friction, but you still have Angie, who you never know where she lies given the episode. One day she's coming after Ghost, then the next day she's coming straight after Tommy, then the next time she's coming after Lobos. Then you have Sean now being enlisted to be like this street goon. So you have all of these people coming after everybody. So I think at some point those two are going to have to kind of stay together. Like you kind of have to keep the only person who can relate to what you're going through close, so that everybody else can eventually go about their business or disappear. That's what I think.
Right. No, I hear what you're saying. I agree. I think that there's many different diversions going on, and maybe it could be twisted and turned, a few different ways, but I don't think it's necessarily going to go anywhere one way or the other. I don't think that it's just going to, like, they're done.
I think at some point it has to, because if he really wants to leave with Angela, if he leaves, that could explain his prison beard.
Well, my theory, Joe, just so you know, during promo, Omari started growing a beard, and it was like kind of patchy at one point. So I was like, oh, at the end of the season, he's going to be in prison. That's what I said. So now we call it a prison beard.
I love your facial expression.
His plan may backfire. You never know. Yeah. I mean, he set it up later. But also, I love that you brought up the Sean character. I think just played excellently by Cinqual Walls, because he's such a goofball, such a this. So we're planning these scenes of this possible takeover. I mean, you think about how Tommy and Ghost came up. They had to do this big event where they they, two corner boys looked breezy in his face and shot him. And I think I always thought it was Ghost. I mean, Omari and I was just like, you know what I mean? I was the distraction, and boom, Ghost took him out because you never heard him come and never saw him leave style. But I think that, Sean is going to have to prove himself. So who's Sean going to take out? That's going to be an interesting thing.
Sean's dead to me.
You don't like him?
No, he wants to kill them every show.
I always have to kill people off the show, and he's the one. He's dead. He's done by season in season 2. He absolutely needs to die now. He needs to die.
Oh, he's playing with fire. Listen,
he's dead.
Yeah, I said he was dead last week.
Yeah, he's dead.
Toast.
And the fact.
Well, he really needs to. How about this? He really needs to step up and do something monumental.
Yeah,
Right.
Let's just say that. So if with that in mind, maybe he's alive.
I agree with you.
Because he could do something. He could do something shocking that nobody's gonna expect for a little bit of a takeover style thing. Because we're setting him up that he has to do something big.
Yeah.
He's got to prove himself now in the streets. There's no going back now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a one way street.
I do get that, and I'll say this last thing, and then we'll move forward. Somebody big has to die, with the exception of with Tommy, Angela, Ghost, and Tasha. Somebody right below that has to die.
I already know who it is,
I
too.
do too. Now that Joe said that and you said what you said, I was like, oh, okay. I think I know who.
Yeah.
Who
Gotta
it is.
go. Who
Yeah,
gotta go.
who's toast.
Right. Okay. But I want us to now all discuss what is you guys' favorite Tommy moment or scene.
I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead.
So what was it, episode 6 or episode 7? Getting you and Holly, Tommy and Holly.
Oh, that was episode 6.
Was it 6?
The
Getting
end of it.
handcuffed.
Yes, episode 6, end of it.
Hands down.
Written by Gary Lennon.
Gary Lennon. Got to give you a shout out, because that scene right there, y'all know I was bucking out on that scene. I was like, Tommy! I mean, because we all know, because we've seen other projects and seen other movies and just different acting projects that you've done, that you have skills. But to bring it into power like that, on another level like that, to me, it was a matter of you using every emotion in that one scene.
It definitely had to be a roller coaster, and it had to go from a place of loving and then also lusting, and then to that lust, that's that fine line between pleasure and pain, and then it went over the line and then went to murder.
Yes, yeah. It was
Murder.
just such, hey.
She handcuffing me to the bed, that's not murder.
Yeah, so thank you for explaining that, because that's what we felt too.
Yeah.
It was great.
Speaking of skills, I think my favorite scene, I don't know exactly what episode it was, but I think it was when you were at the table. It was you, dinner table, you, Holly, Tasha, and Ghost. And he was rapping.
That's 50. No, 50 wrote that. 50 wrote that.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, yeah, and listen, I was almost trying to do my 50 imitation on that. Her breathtaking beauty had me gasping.
Yeah.
I was like, I love that people were tweeting me like, oh, that's cringeworthy. You want to stop that? I'm like, yo, I didn't write it.
Now, I've seen you rap on other shows, on other interviews. Can you rap, or is that just...
Can you rap? I'm not sure, Bamm. I don't know. Can you rap?
I'm just asking, can you rap? Can you freestyle, or is that just...
I will save it, man. It's not for AfterBuzz.
Okay.
He doesn't want to spit bars.
I don't want to spit bars on AfterBuzz. I want to talk this show.
Okay.
My favorite scene was the moment when Joseph, aka Tommy, told Ghost that Angela was a fed. When Ghost went to the house, his mom's house, after him and his mom.
Episode 1.
Yep, after him and his mom got done doing coke, and they were in there. Tommy had the gun, and he was holding the gun to Ghost like, "You stupid! How do you not know she's a fed? Anybody who's a lawyer for the government is a fed."
What kind of lawyers you think work
Right,
for the government?
My favorite scene, hands down.
Yeah, that was good.
That was a good scene.
That's a great line.
I have a couple. I have 2, but there's something that you say almost every episode that I love, because you say this word probably better than anybody. Anytime you say the word motherfucker.
Yeah.
I love that.
Motherfucker.
That's one of my favorite words.
You say that I'm sorry. Tommy says motherfucker I've heard a lot of people say that word, but nobody says motherfucker like Tommy.
I gotta give it to my dialect coach who's from the
Okay.
South Bronx, Bobby McMurray, this white Irish dude from the projects down on 135 in Liberty.
Wow.
And Bobby's always like, listen, when you curse, you gotta love that shit in your mouth, son. Motherfucker.
Oh yeah.
That's it
Nice
for
job.
me. That's one of my favorite moments. And then another moment is anytime you're speaking with Ghost about Angela, because you do it in this way where you're almost kind of pouting like a baby because you kind of raise the pitch in your voice, and you get so excited. For me, that's a very hilarious moment. Anytime.
When I was tripping and I had the hood on,
Yeah.
you know, yeah. Angela is way closer than you think, Ghost.
And then you smacked the wall.
Yeah.
You were like,
It's something.
Yes. Totally. Now let's.
It was actually really good, that particular scene too, because I made note of your face. You know, like what I
coked
could have.
out.
Yeah, but it was cold. I mean, that was real,
It
right?
was, it was cold and it was raining. The
Yeah.
police actually stopped. The actual police stopped and thought that we were having a fight.
That's what Lucy
Oh,
said.
really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, she did. She said that.
Okay, but that tells you how good you guys go in on that scene. You
Yeah,
know what
Omari
I'm
is
saying?
like, it's like somebody said that it's cream. It's like, you know, that kid is butter, man. It's like he is so present acting that not every actor is this, and I'm not anybody's process, but Omari's process is very fun for me because I'm that way. I change it up every take, and Omari, if you breathe differently, he responds differently.
Wow.
So
That's good.
he's really a great listener.
I would definitely say that you guys your chemistry is like amazing. Like
Yeah.
you guys just you feed off each other. So
we
it's
got,
awesome.
and we have a very, very deep mutual respect for each other.
Yeah. I'm curious because all of you are so accomplished in you know your careers now and do very well by yourselves, you know. Yeah, I mean y'all good, you know what I'm saying? But do you oftentimes, maybe now, not that it's we're so far into season 2, but maybe when you first began, did you have to pull each other, you know, like did you get into each other's role a little bit? Like, you know, it just, you know, how some actors talk about helping each other play the role, helping each other figure out what the scene is. Do you have to get into that
I've been in
space?
this business for 25 years. I don't help anybody with anything because people, you know, you start that as I'd never ever, if somebody asks me for help, hey, Joe, can you go over something with me? Or what do you think about this? I'll tell you what I think about this. Otherwise, you know, that's not my place.
Yeah.
That's
You're
the
very
director's-
humble
that's
that
the
way.
director's place, and that's the writer's place.
Yeah. So you're very humble, like just, you know, with you and your own craft and you and your own skill. And maybe I would say the same thing for the other actors as well.
Well, I think that you can either trust somebody or you don't trust. I mean, it's like a relationship with your girlfriend. Let me see your phone. Let me see this. Let me see that. Do you trust them or you don't trust them?
Yeah. So you just go into it. You just
So I
go
just
for
trust
it.
the other actor. I
Yeah.
trust the director. I trust the writer because for me, I don't have time. I mean, you know, it's too much. I don't want cancer.
Yeah. It's all that stress.
Yeah.
You know what? And then, sorry, go ahead, Ben.
Oh no, I know you had a question about difficult.
Yes, I'm curious to know what has been the most difficult or maybe say interesting scene that you've actually experienced while playing Tommy.
But you know, let me tell you, those sex scenes a little something.
Can I'm just gonna put you on blast for a second.
Hit me.
I was watching Power with a group of friends. I think it was either the first episode, and something happened and you took your shirt off, and literally all the girls said, "Ooh, Tommy been working out."
I got a little thicker for season 2.
Yeah.
I picked it up a little bit. 50 is like, he's like, yo, man, you can give the ladies what they want or what, Joe? I'm like, oh yeah, all right, I got you 5.
And you did that because did you know that you were gonna have to do more sex scenes, or did?
Courtney doesn't tell us much about. I mean, we get an overview, but she doesn't get into specifics of like this is gonna be a sex scene, this is gonna be whatever, and so I just, you know, I mean, actually, believe it or not, I was actually by the end of season 1. I'll show you pictures afterwards. I was forget about it. But like season 2, I just got a little bit thicker, and one of the reasons is like I'm like, oh, I get to put beer back in my diet. I'm all about that.
So you talked about Courtney. Does she give you guys a heads up about where your character or where the show is going to go, or when you get the script is when you find out?
No, we get a bit of an overview of the season and your arc. I think that she's you know, she's very, very smart, and it's her show. So I don't question her motives, and I don't question her process. I trust her completely. She's our boss, but she's our mama. You know what I mean? I think she's looking out for us, and she's hyper intelligent, and she juggles a lot of balls, and like she always says that she keeps each character alive in her mind. So I always feel like it's a collaboration, and I feel like all artists get in trouble when they don't realize that all art is a collaboration. Even a painter, you know what I mean? If you got to be this vessel, you know, and so I show up and try to be present.
Yeah. Speaking of Courtney, she's great. I mean, she's just
phenomenal.
Fantastic at what she does.
Not bad being one of the most powerful women in television right now.
Absolutely. And I love that her, you know, of course, with the collaboration of the writers and you guys too, as the talent, will take you guys there. Like Tommy is a little off, you know, like Tommy, the way that he acts is even like.
But they let me get there, and then they wrote for him. They gave me trust, and so I took the character in a certain way. And there's been times where Courtney was just like, they're actually very, and I won't call her out. There's one choice that I wanted to have made at the end of season 1. She's just like, no way, that's not happening. Okay. No, it's a wrong choice. And I'm like, yeah, but you know, Tommy, this. She's like, believe me, don't even tell me what Tommy would do. I'll tell you what Tommy would do. Like, okay, I got you. Okay. But there, you know, I think that all of our writers, Randy Huggins, who wrote the last episode, episode 8, Vladimir Svetko, I think, who did a phenomenal job at episode 7. I got to do all that stuff, that crazy waking up Coke thing where I got all the tubes. A lot of people ask me about that, so I'll clarify. If you go very slow frame by frame, you can see a screwdriver and a hammer and the bed turned all the way over this way.
Okay.
So it's meant that the prying and the, you know, destroying the whole bed. But I think we do have she has an incredible writing staff, and I think she utilizes everybody's strengths really well, just kind of like Ghost does.
Yeah.
Speaking of the cocaine, we discussed this last week, but does Ghost know that Tommy uses or not?
I think that he's known that Tommy's always used since he's known him. That is kind of the thing that it's never affected their work. It's never affected the outcome. It's kind of like, hey, listen, I don't care if you drink, but if you don't show up for work, I'm gonna have a problem. I think it's that kind of thing with Tommy. Now, I think Tommy's also somebody else is like, you know, like what is it? It's like the De La Soul's new album. I don't know if anybody has it, but he's like, yo, are you high? Are you high? And he's like, no, what? Why I seem high? And I think like that's Tommy kind of did that when they were in the room. He's like, hey, you been dipping in a goddamn product? You know, like maybe you have, you know, like no, you've been dipping in a product. So I think that was a little bit of deflection in that way. So I think Tommy's use right now is up more because of his stress level, and he's finding comfort in it. And Holly's gone, and he wants somebody to hold him, and that's gonna be drugs.
Wow, what amazing thing that we were, as the fans, were able to see Tommy go from just being Tommy Street, you know, this incredible chemistry, of course, that he has with Ghost, but to being in love, and then now all of a sudden this tumultuous relationship with Holly. I mean, we're literally watching Tommy go through it all. So
2 14-year-old boys. Ghost is 14 years old, back 14 years old with Angela. And Tommy, who's never been in love before, is reverting to being in love for the first time at 14 and doing all this stuff. Now listen, the Pillow Talk, I don't write the scripts. Yeah. But so you have to kind of legitimize why you would talk like that. And that's because I think Tommy would say something, because he is open and honest with his feelings. But I think he did that all season 1 and into season 2. Where he'd say something and be like, what the hell did I do that for? What just happened?
Do the fans get really mad at you for the Pillow Talk, and also for, I guess, always like, I know a lot of them don't like Holly, but
oh yeah, like you wouldn't believe they get so mad at me. And so there was a time where I was just like, I don't write the script, but then I got into it, and they're like, all right, people are getting into it, like just breathe in deep, take it seriously but very lightly, and they're like, well, you know, he's like this, and make up an excuse for him that I would in the process, because I don't want to devalue how important fans are.
Yeah. And I think people appreciate Tommy for who he is, even though they get mad. Like, there's certain characters on TV that they're the character. Like Cole from Martin, Pam from Martin is Pam, Tommy, you're Tommy. So people are so into your character. You're like a fan favorite. So they're gonna talk back, and they're gonna have something to say about everything you do.
50's always like this. He's like, 5 years down the line, Joe, you could be nominated for an Oscar. They'd be like, you know, Tommy got that Oscar for the
yeah, that's true.
So it doesn't bother you for now that people see you as Tommy.
Not at all. I'm very grateful for the role, and I'm not that precious. Yeah. Like I said before, I've been around a long time. I'm grateful to be in a place where people are calling me anything. And I think that rather than just being like, oh, I'm so grateful, I'm so humble, I'm not. I'm great. I do a good job. That's why people know know me. And it's through this vessel of Tommy that I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to play. Grateful to Courtney, grateful to Starz. Chris Albrecht, CEO of Starz, is a great human being and a good guy and incredibly intelligent. Omari Hardwick, the pleasure of working with him at 50. Forget it. I mean, it's you know, anything else is champagne problems.
I think when you called in to us to our show season 1, and
I had the best time with you
that
guys.
Was awesome.
Oh my god, I was drinking a beer. I'm here in my corner talking to you guys.
That was so cool. We just had a moment like, oh, that's Tommy.
Oh, I loved you guys. You guys were the best.
Yeah, you're so cool like that. But I think I realized at that time you're completely different than Tommy. You know, you're totally different, which actually just goes again to say how good you play Tommy, how well that you play that character.
Thank you very much.
But I'm very curious to know because, and I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with hearing actors talk about their unloading process or their unwinding process from going there. You know, you go there. What is that like for you when you go home? What is that process like?
My wife does not tolerate anger in that way. We've never called each other a bad word. I've never exploded. We've never tripped out on each other. We talk to each other, so she doesn't tolerate that. So there's no room for Tommy in my house. So, you know, I gotta let him go when I have to let him go. But sometimes I need to not go straight home. You know, and Tommy will pop out really quick. I'll try to make this fast. We were filming the scene with Rolla in season 1, and he's walking down the street. It's so cold, and this guy was coming in and out of the liquor store, and like, you know, he's like, well, I live in the neighborhood. And they're like, well, we're trying to film this scene. And he's like, well, I live in the neighborhood. Well, I'm like, get in the fucking liquor store. Go home. And this guy's like, and I'm just like, you know, get stared at. And I gave him like, for real. I mean, I was charged up too. And I'm thinking, I'm not this motherfucker. and you know, and Omari like get back up and he's like, slow down, baby. It's okay. We got you. He's like, but buddy, you should, you know, do your thing. And I'm just like, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like, you know, because so there is, you know, it's to a point. But Russell Crowe said like that. We do wear our emotions so close to our sleeves and on our sleeves, and that how do you expect us to just shut it off? So I'm not that extreme, but every now and again, you know, it's an extreme character.
Whoa.
To piggyback off of what you kind of just said, Robin, I am curious, and I know I read somewhere that Tom Wilkinson, he gave you some advice. He said all you have to do is think the line and the camera will read it. So, true, you know, turn it off. How do you get in? What are some things you think about to get into Tommy character?
Well, I'll tell you, you know, a lot of Tommy is really based on guys that I knew growing up, because I was a graffiti writer my whole life since I was a little kid, and, you know, I did my fair share of like, I want to be down, let me hustle, let me, you know, sell it on the corner a little bit. Very dangerous stuff, heck, you know, and carrying a pistol a little, you know what I mean? And want to hear a funny quick story?
Yes.
I'm driving with my buddy Telly. I can give him a shot. What's up, Tel? I'm glad you're not in jail. So I'm driving with him and, you know, the Latin Kings, the gang. So they had just smashed his window, and he was the leader of this other gang, which I won't say because let's leave that out. And they smashed his window here, and this big problem in the neighborhood. So me and Tel, I had a loaded 38 under my seat, and he had his 44, and we're driving around in this Omni around Rogers Park in Chicago with a smashed windshield. And the police are passing. We're getting hot because they know who everybody is, and we're going down. He's jumping out with, you know, loaded gun at these guys hanging out in the corner, the King's Corner boys on these different corners. I won't get into it too much, but anyway, we're going, and my heart is starting to beat too fast. And granted, we had just gotten shot at like 3 weeks ago in this little Turtle Alley over here, and I was like, this is too crazy. And I said, Tell, I don't care, man. Listen, man, I'm out of here. It's like, you got to let me off, man. I'm not good anymore. My nerves are rattled. I'm not even going to be good for you. Like, I got to get out. He's like, you got to get out, Joe? I was like, yeah, Tell, I'm done. He's like, all right. He pulled over. I started walking out of the car. He peels out. And I was like, what the fuck? He goes, sorry, Joe Misery loves company.
No! Telly, come on!
How old were you?
Probably like 17, 18.
Whoa. Telly was gully with that.
So, okay, now, you did your first acting gig was in 1987 with Roomies that starred Corey Haim and Burt Young from Rocky. How old were you when you did that?
That's actually a misprint on IMDb.
That is?
Yeah.
Okay.
87, I was like 8.
Okay.
It's like, I'm not at though.
My first thing was,
not that old.
yeah, my first thing, well, I'm pretty old though. I mean, comparatively. I use sunscreen.
Rich people's lotion, right?
Yeah, so my first thing was I did a play called The Little Prince in the far suburbs of Chicago, which was a big toll on my mother getting me there. and then I did a couple of commercials. I did that commercial with Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Funny one. And so I did some of that, but then in high school it was kind of like, I wanted to get into more mischief. You don't have time when you're writing graffiti. It's like all your friends are only graffiti writers. It's a full-time job getting that stuff up on stuff. So then I got back into it kind of a little bit towards the end of high school when I was boxing. I boxed for a long time too, and then in college, I went to college for it. I got kicked out of the first college I went to, and then graduated from Columbia College, Chicago. And then at Columbia College is kind of when I started acting.
It's when you really decided that okay.
So I know that you said on another interview that you watched Kids Incorporated.
Kids Incorporated. That's what I asked my mother. I said, can I be an actor, Mom?
So Fergie was on that, right?
Fergie was on that. I met Fergie.
Did you?
Yeah, ages and ages ago at a fashion show in Beverly Hills.
That's dope.
She'd never remember.
Is she cool?
She seemed super sweet to
Nice.
me. She shook my hand, looked me in the eye. That's all I could ask for.
Yeah.
I can see you on Kids Incorporated.
I know,
can't
right?
tell.
I-D.
Exactly, yes. I can totally see it. That's great. But you had a certain image in your mind, right? When you saw these kids and they were living it up and they were having fun and all that.
Rocking and rolling and acting. I'm like, this is the life.
That's it. So you pursued it. And do you consider yourself there now? Are you experiencing what you saw back then?
Yeah, probably I'm at that level, like that. Look at them though. Boom. At least Fergie. But yeah, something about it. But it took me a long, long time. A lot of heartache. A lot of, the neighborhood I grew up in was, it was nice, lower middle class, but like cops and firemen, city workers. But I got a lot of flack for being an actor. With everything you think about it, people questioning masculinity, people trying to get in fights with you, which is why I started boxing. I was tired of getting beat up. And also, it was difficult because then this group is doing this. These kids are all taking the fireman's test. These kids are all being policemen. These kids are all going into the unions, and I'm, trying to be an actor. And the looks I would get. I moved out to New York, Los Angeles, and you'd come back and I didn't have anything, unemployment, and I'm trying. I'm doing theater, barely supporting myself, and people really feeling bad for you and feeling that. Or like when I was in LA, LA killed me. I couldn't be another number. I couldn't do it anymore. I had to escape LA, and it was really a tough life. I wouldn't wish this on anybody if you don't have that calling. But I always say that little thing in interviews. Oftentimes I say I'm part of an ancient tribe. Yeah, I'm a storyteller. I put myself over.
Was there a point where you kind of gave up and had to come back to it, realizing that this was your calling, or did you continue?
I never gave up. I wish I wanted to give up. I wanted to give up every week. Sometimes I would have tears in my eyes going, whatever you are, creator spirit, why do you want me to do this? Anything but this. It's too hard. I'm tired of being judged.
Wow.
That word. Yeah.
You familiar?
I mean, when you go to auditions and castings, like you feel like you're being judged all the time.
And look
it's
at
not
you.
in
Look
your
how
hand.
gorgeous you are.
Thank you.
Unbelievable. I'm nervous even being in the same room. And look at that. So it's not easy business.
Yeah. Speaking of being judged, you were in an episode of Grey's Anatomy that is very memorable because you were a man who was pregnant.
Right.
What was it like to go through that experience, to have on the
belt? Yeah, they had a whole
the suit.
Exactly, they made like basically a big shirt.
Yeah.
And it was this big pregnant belly. It was pretty fun actually. It was the first of the times where the television, it was kind of the beginning of the golden age of television where everything was secret. Our boy, you don't fuck with our script. We're not even going to give you the real sides. So when I auditioned for that, I said, well, I know it sounds crazy, but I'm a duck. So you just had to be, and they're like, so it was really, the line was that, it sounds crazy, but I'm pregnant. So they changed it to this. Let's see what he does with this. It was just fine. It was fun. I really shite-towned it up. I think I put on my big, I'm just pregnant. So it was fun. It was a fun role. The pregnant guy was a teratoma.
Yeah.
I remember that episode.
Yeah, I mean, that was like probably one of the most memorable episodes on Grey's Anatomy is, because they have such crazy storylines, and that was one where, a man really thought he was pregnant. So just to even have to go through what women go through.
It was fun doing all the research on it, figuring out what a teratoma was, and it mostly develops in women. It's like it usually develops in the vaginal tract, and it's like hair and teeth and extra muscle tissue, and it's kind of like an extra twin that never, and then the whatchamacallit, the cells kind of get turned on, and so they start developing into this crazy mass that is kind of alive. It comes up. It's kind of a cancer because it goes like this. But your body, if you took a pregnancy test, because the cells are multiplying like that, it gives you the same result.
That's
I still remember that stuff.
Okay,
I was
yes,
Shane
that's what
Herman.
That's what research should do. You know, you stick with that.
Yeah.
Plus, also, here's one quick thing, too, about Tommy, the research for Tommy. I also did a lot of research on Dutch Schultz because Arthur Fleischheimer. One of the reasons is because I was like, oh, this ain't real. Bosses never did this. I'm like, well, you know what? They used to. Because Dutch Schultz held down all of the Bronx, parts of Harlem, and he had his own hit list. He took care of, they have the Murder Inc., Albert Anastasia, Luciano's crew and stuff. And listen, Dutch didn't want any problems with Luciano, but like when it was time to take somebody out, Dutch just rolled up on him. And everybody was scared of Dutch. He's a happy, good time guy. He was the beer baron, loved his beer, loved everything being happy. But at the drop of a dime, people are always like this around Dutch. Yeah, Dutch, okay. Because he could be like that, and then if anything got him mad, and he would kill somebody. Which got him in trouble with the five families after Luciano set it up because they're just like, Dutch, you can't. So that was with Tommy all the time. You can't just hit him, Tommy.
right,
Take care of the problem.
Wow.
So
Dutch.
where does Joe want to see Tommy go? Because we've seen him in Love. We've seen him as a friend. We've seen him as a business partner. Where would you like to see the character go, or what else is there for Tommy to tackle that we haven't seen?
I think Tommy becoming aware of his untapped potential. I think that we're starting to see Tommy do all these things because he's been forced into these situations, and then in retrospect been like, oh, I'm pretty good at this. And it's all started with Ghost making him do that meeting when I brought Sean to it. And I listened, and then we got in that fight, and I said, yeah, but you weren't there. I made this happen. I made that call because you weren't there. And I think that started the whole mentality of, yeah, because you weren't there. And I think that it takes him a while because he wants to give to Ghost. That's a characteristic that is similar to me. I will lead if no one else is leading. all right, nobody's doing it, I'll do it. Like a dog. You don't tell a dog who's in charge, why is your dog so badly behaved? Because it thinks it's in fucking charge. Take control of your damn dog. And Tommy's that pit bull. So but now Tommy's is wiser. So he's been forced into these situations and he is in control. Now he's gonna be a pack leader, you know what I mean? Or has the potential. Let's see, he's in jail.
That's the thing.
One thing that I like about Ghost and Tommy's relationship, and I've said this several times on the show, is I like the fact how sometimes you guys as characters will make decisions behind each other's back or when the other isn't present, and you may get upset for a moment, and then you guys just talk it out. Up until last night's episode where things kind of changed, but prior to last night's episode, there was always this clear understanding that if you do something, Ghost may get mad, but you explain it to him,
Agreed.
Hug it out.
But there hasn't been that opportunity for that to happen yet, so we don't know if it's going to happen or not happen. You're right that last night's episode was very significant, and it's an opportunity for all of these characters to step up, and I think we're really going to see who has Tommy's back for real coming up.
Tasha.
Yeah, because she's like a sister
Yeah,
to Tommy. So yeah, we'll see how that unfolds.
Plus, what they have in common is that they've been bowled over by Jamie.
Wow. It's just so much.
There's so much.
And
Courtney can't backbone.
Oh yes, Courtney. Just wow. Come to us, Courtney. Come sit with us. Because it's so much. I mean, and it's so, to me, in my opinion, extreme from season 1. It's just gone to so many different places. So every single week, the fans, like, they're just constantly writing you guys. They're writing us because we get to speak, as the voice for the fans, sort of. So you
guys are the best. You're my favorite outlet. I really do. I love watching your
awesome. Thank you.
But they mastered this slow roll. I mean, what a risk to take in season 1. And I think 50 put it, like, not to mention there's another show out there that's Power's often compared to, or there's compared to Power, and we did that, like, one of their episodes in a whole season. So now these characters, you are invested in these people, these decisions. So now in season 2 we can go all over the place, and it makes sense because these people.
Is there going to be a big gap in between the time frame of season 2 and season 3, or you don't know? Okay,
I go see the writers tomorrow.
Okay.
Well, we can't wait, man. This is my show every week. Before we start here, we're like, man, this is the show. Do you guys know how big of an impact this show is having? or is it just like you guys are like just riding the wave?
I don't know about us guys. What I'm doing, I mean, I don't want to just speak. I just want to speak for anybody else. I think it's having an impact in a lot of different ways. I think socially conscious wise, I mean, a big thing is that I feel like you have to see this person in this position now. You have to see black guy number one, who's obviously the most intelligent guy and who's the guy in the business suit, and you have to see the white guy in a different way. And I think that's important for America. I think that we need to start seeing different colors in different capacities. I think. But even over that, in terms of entertainment value, yeah, it's great. It's entertaining, and it's really well structured and really well done. So I think it covers a lot of different grounds in a lot of different ways. So I'm just excited to be part of it. I really am.
And not only is it entertaining, but there's a lot of realistic aspects to it.
Very, yeah.
People from the street can understand it. People who are not so familiar with the street can understand the business side of it, and then understand the street aspect of it just by watching the show.
Omari said a lot of politicians actually come up to him, and a lot of big business CEO type people, and they love talking about the kind of CEO aspect of him, you know, whatever, all the business aspect. I just love that, and then people always want to come up to me and you ain't about that life. I'm like, you don't know me.
Yeah. Wait. Speaking of which, I mean, you did touch on it a little bit about, you know, where you're from. Would you say that your environment in Chicago basically prepared you for this role?
I think that it would be. I think that one of the things that why the fans love Tommy, I think there's something very genuine. And I'm not saying like, listen, I never moved crazy weight, I never did this, but I spent some time in the streets, and I think that some of that translates. And I think that you'd have a hard time finding somebody else that would. He's not saying it can't be done, but like, you know, that you're just, I think after a while, I think that it would get stale if somebody couldn't produce something that's just natural, that actually breathes.
It's real.
So I'm very lucky.
But you had an opportunity to go into the city with 50, right? And
not into the city, out of the city, into
out
Queens.
of the city.
Yeah.
Oh, in the Queens.
In the Queens. We hung out in Queens. I mean, I hang out with 50 in the city with me and Owen and Five and, you know, a little bit at his place, but he took us back to the neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we hung out in South Jamaica on the block.
Oh, wow. And what did you see there? I mean,
you know.
Was that research?
Just the block. Yeah, I mean, we just hung out.
But are people expecting you to be Tommy? Like, when they see you, are they expecting like, yo, what up? Like, do they approach you like that and you're just like, hello?
You know what? I think that people are a little tentative when they first meet me, when they're fans. They're like, even like guys who you could, you know, have that thug look. They're like, oh, yo, what's up, my man? What's up, man? You know, like a little bit, like they're giving a little bit of love in that way. And then I'm usually just me, and I'm like, hey, what's up, buddy? What's going on there? He's like, oh, well, you know, you know. And then it's like, it's funny. You can see the body language change a little bit. It's like, oh, I ain't scared of this guy no more. And it's like, good, you shouldn't be. It's, you know, I'm an actor.
Yeah.
Do your thing.
Is there anything that you can give us without getting in trouble from Courtney? Is there any insight, any details, just something that you can give us that we can expect from these next 2 episodes before the finale?
I think that without giving anything away, I think that people have already said their real intentions. And if we listened closely, we get them. I think that people... one of my favorite things is in the Boxer, the Paul Simon song, the man hears what he wants to hear and disregards the rest. I think Power fans hear what they want to hear and disregard the rest because of where their loyalties lie. And I think that every character's actually said their true intentions already.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well said.
Are you watching every week along with us?
I tweet.
You live tweet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you watch it but you're watching it in order to respond to the fans?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen any of them. It's my first time watching them too.
Okay.
And sometimes if I'm with a crowd or something, I'll go back and watch it again myself because I like this show.
Yeah.
Good job.
It's intense. Yeah. Because I'm wondering, like, if you ever look at it from like, because for us even, we have to come in. Bamm and I, we had a conversation. Now we'll watch it once just to watch it, and then we watch it again to break it down. You know what I'm saying? And I wonder if it's similar for you.
No, I don't. I mean, I had to watch the threesome scene again because I was laughing too hard at first.
Was that your first scene that you had to go naked?
Oh, like buck, yeah. Yeah.
Was that uncomfortable?
No, those girls were having a blast. They really were. They were having a blast, and they were really comfortable, and they made me comfortable because, of course, I'm just like, ooh, boy. It's just like in real life. It's not about the man. It's about the woman. And if she's not having a good time, nobody's having a good time. And those girls were. down.
Yeah, but even on the show, was this your first time being naked on the show?
On television?
On television?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been naked on stage because I was like, oh, no, there's no pictures. Nobody's got...
Oh, okay.
They're and gone.
Yeah.
Because Lucy made a great point when she was here, and she said that when she was naked, she didn't have anything to pull from to be Holly. So it was difficult not necessarily difficult. She had to just find herself as Holly, because usually when she puts on the clothes, then she could kind of get into character. But if you're just vulnerable in all of your, nature, then it's like you got to. Where do you find that, or is it different for a man?
I don't know about a man.
Or for you?
No, I mean Tommy was right here in a little place in my heart.
Okay,
So
yeah.
that's where I came from. And Lucy's a very, very, very fine actor and
Yeah.
really sweet person. So very different.
Really quickly, just you and Holly's relationship, I find so real, because one minute you guys can hate each other, and then the next you're making love. The way you talk to her, I think we had a discussion where you thought it's a little weird, because I think you even called her a bitch to her face, like, you my bitch or something.
Bitch from my bitch.
Yeah. And I find it refreshing because you don't see that a lot on TV, but there are relationships that actually exist, like Tommy and Holly, and I've witnessed some where I've seen them fist to fist, and then 2 minutes later, after you try and break them up, and then they're kissing and making out, and as if the fight never even existed. That's I won't call it ghetto love, but it's real. It exists, and I like the dynamic that the two of you guys have together.
Yeah. Because she's definitely a wonderful scene partner. I respect her immensely.
Yeah, especially because of who the characters are, though. That's what makes it so interesting, just because they are so extreme. Both Holly and Tommy are just so extreme, so it makes for great television. So I agree, Bamm.
Speaking of TV, you are doing the show called The Player with Wesley Snipes on NBC.
And Philip Winchester.
Yes.
Wonderful actor.
The pilot of that looks really, really great. Can you tell us a little bit about your character?
Yeah, my character was in the Special Forces with Philip's character, Alex Kane. And my guy's name is Dominic McCall, and he was a Special Forces guy who came back after serving and really didn't know his place back in society. Kind of was just antsy for more action, and he acts out on it. I don't want to give anything away on that.
Okay, yeah. We're going to be safe right there.
And when can we, what episode will that be?
Episode 1.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Oh, nice. And then you also are in the Underground.
Underground, yeah. Underground on WGN America. I'll be in a couple episodes of that. Really, really an important show about the Underground Railroad. It's just Anthony Hemingway, who directed our first 2 episodes, also directed the first 4 episodes of that. Really, really well written. Misha and Joe on that show are just smart, great people, and they gave me a real fun character who's, it's a small role, but it's Anthony just was like, can you do this, because Anthony just believes in my ability to be able to transform into these different characters. So I transformed. I mean, I got a half a fake wooden leg, and
wow.
Yeah.
When can we see that?
You know what? I'm not sure. They don't tell me any of these things.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll be on the lookout for it.
Yeah.
Although you are a very versatile actor, are you worried that because the Tommy has become such a phenomenal character, are you worried that your career may not elevate and that you'll become typecast because of this character, Tommy?
I wouldn't mind being typecast with the character Tommy, because I have the faith that I get to the free throw line. I got to the free throw line. Tommy, the character Tommy, the show Power, has put me to the free throw line. All I got to do is sink those shots, and I got faith. I'm not Shaquille O'Neal.
Hey, I love that. I love that. Yeah. Such an incredible answer.
Okay, well, we have to wrap up, but
I do have a question. Well, I guess it's more of a statement. I've seen you in other things that I had no idea that was you, because you did so well, like Safe. I watched that movie, and I didn't know that you had a Russian accent there.
Vasily. I can't remember the last name.
I don't remember.
That was my wife's father's name when we were just starting dating, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, this movie in Philly and here in New York." And
it was Vasily Deshevsky.
Deshevsky.
Yeah.
And she said, "What's the character?" I said, "Oh, it's a silly Russian name, Vasily." She goes, "Oh, that's my dad's name."
You're like, well, I didn't really mean it like that.
I mean, not silly. Silly as a really tough, hard Russian name.
Yeah, but great job there. You also played in The Reacher.
Jack Reacher.
In Jack Reacher, yeah, that I also saw. So, I mean, just familiar with your work, and I guess I'm more of a fan than I even knew from Power. So.
And can I actually just throw out some of the credits, because you've been in a lot of stuff. You were in True Detective, The Good Wife, Jack Reacher, Save, Boardwalk Empire, Criminal Minds, ER, NYPD Blue, CSI New York, Third Watch. I mean, brother,
CSI Miami too.
You working?
You've been working.
Yeah, I think this is my 40th show right now that I'm doing.
Wow. Quick question. 25 years in the game, all of these credits, you know, I'm sure there are a lot of young actors looking up to you. What would you say has given you the staying power, and what advice would you give to young actors?
That everybody is full of it in this thing. That anybody who says they know anything about our industry, in the entertainment industry, is suggestions. Whatever your heart is telling you is the truth. I didn't really learn that until I started having faith in myself again, because this industry had beaten me up for so long that I could only manage the guest star thing. I was not full. My spirit was not full, you know? And then really and truly, not to be too crazy Christian about it, but then when you give yourself over, it's just like, yeah, listen, Jesus is going to handle this for me. And you take that pressure off of yourself. Things do start happening because you're able to fill up all of that space that you had with this negativity. That's open space for confidence, positivity, faith in yourself. So when Cary Fukunaga, when I didn't audition for True Detective, I auditioned for Charlie Langley on that. I auditioned for True Detective, but I auditioned for Charlie Lang, and they gave me Ginger because they believed in my ability. And I was just like, well, they believe in me, I believe in me. And in Scorsese, just like when I was doing Boardwalk, you know, I was just like, is this okay, Marty? He's like, you don't have to ask me. Everything you're doing is great.
Wow.
Just you do whatever you want. You are this guy. And just having these people have faith in me helped me be like, yeah. And so by the time I came to Tommy, I was just trying stuff. Hey, this is fun again, man. This is fun. And everybody, oh no, this should be structured and we have this time. And you're like, yeah, but my job is to create and to have fun. So, and I think that fun translates.
That's awesome.
You look like you're having an amazing time with it too. I
am.
Yeah, that's a blessing. That's beautiful to even feel. So,
Amen.
Yeah. Amen.
Let everyone know where you could be found on all social media.
All social media is Joseph Sikora 4. That's JOSEPHSIKORA, the number 4. That's my Twitters and my Instagram. And then on Facebook, don't get in touch with me. I don't want your friends requests. I just got, like, it's like that's my personal page, and I just got to start deleting people. But I'm always like, I don't really know this person. Why did I accept that friend request?
Do what you got to do, man.
I know. It's
You
too
should
hard
keep
for me.
something for yourself.
I know, because I like people so much.
Yeah.
I try to answer every single person back. I get all those direct messages on the IG, and if the picture isn't inappropriate, I always get back to people. I'm just like, oh, it's okay. All right. Hey, thank you so much. I'm like, why are you DMing me a black screen? Like,
Yeah.
You got to be
people,
careful.
because, you know, because of people, I don't care. I'm not. That's fine. I don't mind any of that stuff because I keep it on the level. I'm not about, my wife can have it. She can see anything.
That's awesome.
what's up.
Shout out to your wife. You know,
She's cool, calm, and collected. And she's Russian, so she'll kill me in my sleep.
very, very cool.
Before we wrap, let everyone know where you guys can be found on social media.
Well, you guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Janeisha_MissVI.
And you can find me on all social media at Robin Ayers, or my website, it's robinayers.com.
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Kennelia.
And you can find me on all social media at Bamm Ericsen. We want to thank you guys for this special edition here of Power with the Spotlight interview on a friend of mine,
Yes.
Mr. Joseph Sikora.
Friend of
Thank
ours.
you so much. It's been a pleasure. Good luck to you. We wish you the best for season 3, and you have a long career ahead of you
Yes.
because your body of work so far has been amazing, and what's to come after is going to go beyond that. So thank you so much, and please come back again.
Thank you, I will.
All right,
And
thank you guys for watching.
Catch us tomorrow night as we recap the actual episode of episode 8.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AFTERBUZZ TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AFTERBUZZ TV or its owners or principals.